So I was going to do lesson 11 and I ran into something that showed me I didn't really understand how the libraries worked, and there may be additional really subtle things that I still don't understand. I was thinking um, that all I had to do was put the libraries into the project folder, and that didn't work for lesson 11, and so you have to actually install the libraries. Um, so where it installs the libraries for Windows, as far as I know, is in the Documents Arduino folder under Libraries. So like right now, Libraries is empty for me. So if I back up, so if I put my project here in the Arduino folder, just to keep everything where it makes it easier to find, at least that's what it's a little bit of a challenge finding what people are doing and what makes sense. Um, can go to lesson 11 and I'll just copy lesson 11 over to my Arduino folder. And in there is a zipped file that has keypad, the libraries, examples. So there's the IDE file and utilities. Okay. So I also went and installed the new IDE environment. So it defaults to dark mode. And if it doesn't know what to look for, um, it creates this thing in your temporary folder of Windows and sets this up. It doesn't remember what board and COM port you're using, but if once you've set it up, it ends up in this drop down list, and you can just do that. And then it'll down here, um, you'll see that it's actually connected and working. So there's that. Um, but if I go back to my project under examples and custom keypad and give it a minute, it loads that up, and if I do a verify, it has an error. And you'll see keypad.h, it couldn't find it. And if I were to put that keypad.h file into this folder, it still wouldn't find it. And so apparently you have to actually install libraries. I don't understand why this is different, because the other projects that I've done, I've just copied the appropriate files into the same directory as the .ino file, and it worked. And there's a couple ways you can do this. You can, let's see if I can include library, and you can add a zip file, and you can navigate to where that is. So Documents Arduino, and so inside here is the library. See, it says library installed. So in the zip file was the libraries you need, and now it installed it. Now if I check it, it's fine. So it's not difficult. It's just kind of interesting that it's not the same as some of their other example files. The other thing you could do, include library. I don't know, can I do this from here? So manage libraries. So what's interesting about that is this library manager doesn't look at the local stuff. So if I do type installed, there are no installed libraries as far as the library manager is concerned. So if I were to just go back here to the Arduino folder under libraries, documents, Arduino libraries, when I did that install, look what it copied this over here. So now if I were to, very simply, if I were to just delete that, they're gone. And then if I come back to this Arduino and let's see. Output. I'm missing my code. See, I'm such an expert at this. It's crazy. Anyway, you see it got an error again. Let me go back to keypad. Start over. I do a lot of starting over. How about you? There we are. Now if I check that, since I've deleted that, that so-called installed library, the error came back. So, but if I use the library manager, I can also do it from there. So here I got all of them. I can put in a search for keypad, and there's something called keypad right there. So if I install that and then do a verify, looks like that also works. So those, now if I go back to my Arduino, go back to my libraries, look at that. It also installed a library from, I guess it's a repository of some kind where it pulled that down. And so I can remove that. And that folder went away. So those are a couple things I've learned about libraries. The keypad thing is pretty straightforward. You hook it up the way the tutorial tells you to. It has this matrix of key switches. So the row and the column are unique, and that's how it identifies what key you're pressing. And we can, let's reinstall the library, and let's verify that works. Okay, and when you do that, here's how you hook it up, and this is what you should get back. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the connection table, and this is what it looks like. And then if I upload that to my board, done, I should then open the serial monitor. Where did my serial monitor go? So that was weird. I must have had something go wrong with my computer. But I closed this and reopened it, and it reopened with the serial monitor open already. So, and this is different than it was before. It used to open up in a separate window. Maybe there's a setting for that. Yeah, I don't see it. But now that that's been loaded into the board, and I have everything running, when I press a key, it gives back the number 1, press 5, get a 5, press D, I get a D. I don't know if it does multiple key presses. If I press 2 keys, yeah, it only gets 1. Yep, so it doesn't do multiple keys. I don't see why it couldn't do that if you were to modify the code somehow to look for multiple keys, but it doesn't look like this one does that. That is basically how that works. And this is the new Arduino environment that I didn't have before. And that's kind of what I've discovered about libraries, where they get installed. And I am going to go back to here, and if I go to libraries, okay, and then if I look for, now if I look for installed libraries, I get this one. And this is new. The previous version that I had on here didn't give you a way to remove it. I thought that was really kind of not good. So it's nice to see that that's here now. And so if I remove that, the folder went away, and I now do not have the libraries needed for this code. And if I check it again, I get an error. So like I said, was some things with lesson 11 and the libraries behaving differently than before. That kind of took me aback. And so that's what I have to share with anyone who cares. These are not scripted. I'm totally going off the cuff. So if I got repetitive and boring, I'm sorry. But maybe this will be helpful for somebody. Because I didn't think it was that complicated. I thought it was just as simple as locating all the files needed in the same directory. But it looks like it's a little more involved than that. So that's all I have for today.